Hello everyone, I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to more GregTech New Horizons. So, it's been quite a while since the last episode, and I have been very busy. What have I been busy with? Well, I've been expanding the base, and we're finally at a position now where I think I'm ready to start showing off what I've gotten done so far. Now, it's not quite a finished product yet, but obviously there'll be more expansions in the future as well. But we're not quite finished with this round of expansion yet either. There's still a little bit more to do, but we're getting there, and yeah, I think I'm ready to show off what we've got so far, and I also want to try and set some stuff up today to prepare for us to actually move into the new area, because at this point, I've only really built stuff. I haven't really set stuff up yet, for the most part. So, let's get into it. So, we're going to head on into the base, and you're immediately going to see our new kind of central hallway here, which is going to take us up into our kind of new main area, which is going to be up there. Now, before we go up there, I do want to mention these rooms over here have been unchanged so far, and we've still got most of our kind of work area over here. So, nothing's been moved into this area yet, so keep that in mind. So, let's go ahead and head on over to our new main area. Now, there's two areas we can go into. We can go into the doors here, or we can go up. I'm going to save this part for last because it's going to make more sense once I show you the rest of the base, I think. So, let's go head on up. So, this is kind of going to be what I think is the main kind of central hub for the base, at this point in time at least. And so what we've got here is we've got a central hub right here. And I've got some holes in here, which I'll explain these in a bit. They'll make sense soon. And we've got kind of two wings over here. Now, these two wings here are going to be where we have kind of our main kind of machines now. And the purpose of these rooms is probably going to change over time. They're not going to be staying to one thing forever. You know, things are going to shift around as we continue to progress. But for now, what I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to have one room kind of dedicated to more of our single block steam machines. And another kind of room is going to be dedicated to more of the multi-block structures. So one room will probably be putting in the blast furnaces. Speaking of which, we have been working on those for quite a while. They have been making a lot of steel. I'll show you that in a bit. But we have a blast furnace possibly in here. Maybe some coke ovens. Maybe some other multi-blocks from the steam age, which we'll soon be able to make. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking for now. We're going to have a room for single block machines. Maybe in this wing. Multi-blocks in this wing. That could change, we'll see. Now, back here, I'm actually quite happy about this. This is going to be kind of our new crafting area, and really kind of what happened was as soon as I saw this view, I was like, yep, this has to be the crafting area. It just is an awesome view, I think, of the area. It gives you a nice little look of the kind of river and the area over there. You can even see the Thumbcraft obelisk over there as well still. So, you can see that. And yeah, it's coming along. I still have to add the roof onto the two wings over here still, so that's something I still have to get done, but I'll get that done soon. I just need to get some more materials and come up with kind of a roof design. But I'm quite happy with the roof design of this area. It kind of looks quite nice. This block right here is actually glowstone, so this is a chiseled glowstone variant right here. So it gives off some light, so we've got some light from that. We've got some light from below here. And yeah, this is kind of going to be our new central kind of hub and crafting area up here. And I think it looks quite nice. So, let's continue to head on up because there is more to show you. So, this is a hallway here. Now, I will point out, this is eventually going to extend out into some more rooms out here. For now, I haven't done that part yet. The main reason is we still have our old steam setup over here. And speaking of which, I can probably turn this off for now. I don't need these running right now. But what we can do is we can use this area for some more rooms here, I think, in the future. And I just hadn't made them yet, mostly because we still have our other steam setup from over here, and I didn't want to have to tear that down because we don't have our new steam setup yet. So this is something we'll make in the future. We don't need the rooms just yet, so it's something I'll wait a little bit for probably. But yeah, that's what we have up here, and this is a temporary door anyways, just to make it look kind of nice for now. So we've got two more ways to go. Now, in this room, this is kind of a tiny room, and in fact, it is nighttime, so let's go to sleep. So what I'm purposing this room for now is it's kind of a mixture of a bedroom and kind of a treasure room. So I've got my trophies. We've lined them up here on this little kind of a shelf, I guess. We've got our first steel ingot on display over here. And we've got our bed in here. Now, I think eventually this is going to just become more of a treasure room, and the bedroom is actually going to be moved into one of the wings out here. I'm thinking of putting a room over here maybe, kind of dedicated to kind of like a bedroom and an office or something like that. Kind of a little more of a fancy room for me. So that's kind of something I'm thinking about doing up there. But for now, we've kind of got a little kind of a side room. And I think it works for the bed because this is kind of in a center part of the base. Now, let's go up here where we're going to come into a really interesting room. This is the home of our brand new iron tank. And now this is, I think, 7 by 8 by 7, something like that. Let's take a look, actually. Iron tank. Let's take a look. Height, yeah, so we've got the maximum height and the diameter is 7. So this is a 7 by 8 by 7 iron tank. And this was extremely expensive. I am completely honest. It was really expensive. We probably used over 1,000 iron just to make this. I had to go on multiple iron mining trips with our brand new hammer, which we have here. It actually wasn't too bad to get all that iron in the end, but this was an immense amount of iron, and this is going to be kind of our new central iron tank for steam production. And if we head on up again... Oh, and by the way, this is a caged ladder from a mod I found called the Catwalks mod, which is included in the pack. And one of the things it gives you is this caged ladder. Now, I've got another ladder up here, and what I want to show you is how this actually works. So the ladder, normal ladder, you know, you climb up it, it's quite slow. If you go up the caged ladder, which I've got over here, it's much faster. So it's kind of a cool little thing you can do. So this is something I thought was kind of fancy to use. But something to keep in mind with this thing is when you first place it down, it kind of comes all like blocked off and stuff. And what you need to do is you need to grab an item called a blowtorch, which I had to go ahead and make. So it needs a flint and steel and a bit of steel to make. And if you kind of right click on the things, you can kind of like put the cages there and you can take it away and you can walk through it. So it's kind of a fancy little thing I kind of found. So I thought that was kind of cool. But we did complete a few quests along the way in the process of making that. And I actually got quite a few quests done, which we'll go take a look at in a bit. But let's go head on up here, and this is where we're going to be producing our new steam area. So we've got 2 water tanks all set up. They're already full of water. We've got pipes, and we've actually already got some slots prepared for some steam. And that's what I want to get on with today. We're going to fill these slots in with some brand new solar boilers. And in fact, we're going to be making the advanced solar boiler. And hopefully, if I've done all my calculations right, we should be able to afford 6 of these, which is going to be a massive upgrade to our steam production. And also up here, you get a really nice view of the base, I think. Or like our whole area. This is just a nice little kind of observation tower in general. Really looks nice. Really liking the way this is looking. So yeah, we've got that set up, and this is going to be where our steam kind of comes from in the end. So that's pretty much what I've done at this point, and I'm quite happy with what we've got. I think things are really starting to come together. And yeah, let's kind of see if we can go ahead and get those solar boilers made, because that's what I kind of want to do today, kind of make sure we can start preparing for steam. Now, what we're going to be doing with that tank, so this is where these holes come into play as well, so let me explain that part. So we've got 2 output tanks here, and what we're doing is, I've got 2 outputs. So on the bottom, they automatically output. I've put 2 kind of in 2 different areas here. And what they're going to do is these are going to be connected to pipes, which are going to go all the way down to this hole down here. And this side is going to be dedicated to steam for steam machines in this area. This side is going to be dedicated for steam going into this area. So I'm kind of splitting off the kind of pipes, which should help us a bit, I think, in terms of overall stress on our steam system, hopefully. And that is kind of the purpose of the little area we have down here. So this is the final area to show you. And this is all going to be dedicated to kind of like things like pipes and maybe eventually wires and stuff like that as they go across these kind of 2 areas here. So this is just kind of a little small area we'll dedicate mostly for pipes so we don't see them all around the base. So yeah, that's what this area is for. And yeah, I think it's quite nice. I've been trying to balance, you know, looks and effectiveness. I'm trying to make things effective while also trying to keep things looking nice. And I think I've struck a decent balance. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but I think it looks quite nice. I'm quite happy with it. I'm really liking the way the crafting area is going to look. I'm really excited to start moving things in over to this area. I think it's going to be quite fun to be over here. I really like this part. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. And yeah, now we just have to start setting things up. So let's go head on over to our old crafting area, which we're soon going to be moving away from, but for now it's still our main crafting area. And let's go ahead and see if we can get some of these advanced solar boilers. And in fact, actually, before we do that, let me go over the quests that I've done, because I have completed a few quests. So we have completed the 4x steel quest. We got 256 steel, and we've completed that quest. And speaking of steel, by the way, we now have a grand total of 570 steel, and those blast furnaces are still working. We have begun moving over to charcoal now, but yeah, those things have been very busy. You know, this worked out for me perfectly, getting all of that prepared before we did this base expansion, because we're now swimming in steel. Of course, we'll probably go through this pretty fast eventually, but, you know, for now we're looking pretty good. We don't need it that much right now, so it's pretty good that we have some now. And we'll continue to get some as we can keep on going, so it's going to be quite good, I think. But yeah, so we got this quest done here, and let's see what we can get from this. I think I'll go with the rubber bars, since we can't make those just yet. We need to go to the nether for that, which is going to be one of our next big goals we need to do. So we'll take the rubber bars, and we got a lot of coal coke from that. And rubber bars, where did they go? I'm going to put you in there for now. So that unlocked another quest as well, which is called an unexpected bonus. And it's asking for us to get a block of charcoal. 64 of them, which is quite a bit of charcoal. But, you know, I've been doing some, you know, charcoal work, and we already have it. So here's our block of charcoal, 64, and that'll knock out another quest. So that's already done. In fact, I probably need to load up those blast furnaces. You know, let's go ahead and do that now. I probably need to add more iron to them, but we can go ahead and fill them up. Because I do also want to show you that I'm glad I put these over here, because this is a very polluted area, and you'll probably see it pretty soon. Yep, there it is. You can see kind of the smog in the air when you come into this chunk, and yeah, I just got hit by slowness too. So yeah, this is why I didn't want that anywhere near the base for now. And yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want that smack dab in the middle of the base. But we do have to fill these up with some charcoal so they keep on running. Now, when we have the blocks of charcoal compared to the blocks of coal coke, something to keep in mind here is it does take quite a bit longer. So with the block of coal coke, I think it's 40 minutes to get 10 steel. Block of charcoal, it takes an hour. So it's quite a bit longer to make it, but, you know, it works out. Charcoal's a lot more renewable to get than coal coke. But yeah, so that's what we've got over there. We can put this loot bag away. In fact, let's claim this reward. We can get either 5 loot bags from the LV age or 10 Steam age loot bags. Ooh. Well, LV age loot bags are probably going to be better, and we're not even in the LV age yet. So let's take it. We'll see if we open them up. If I remember, we'll try and open these up at the end. I've said that before and I end up forgetting, so hopefully I'll remember. And also, now that the compressor's free, I actually want to get some of our iron kind of going. So let's put that in here, and I'll let you running off. So yeah, we've been working on a lot of resources. A lot of resources have been used up, but I have begun preparing a bit for today, and I think we've got most of the stuff we need for the solar boilers. So let's take a look at this recipe here. So for the advanced solar boiler, we need to make a few things. We need something called the bricked wrought iron hull. We need some small steel fluid pipes. These are pretty easy to make. In fact, we can make them right now. I've already prepared quite a few plates. In fact, I've got all of the silver plates we need. And by the way, speaking of silver plates, I did some calculations, and I wanted to make as many of these as I can, because these things produce us 360 liters of steam per second alone. I want 6 of these now. Our current steam setup has 3 boilers. We have 2 coal boilers, I believe, and 1 normal steam boiler. Those 3 combined are the exact same amount of steam production as this guy on its own. And we're going to have 6 of these, so this is going to be a massive upgrade to steam production. Let's put that, nope, not in that chest. It goes into this chest. And yeah, this is going to be quite an upgrade for us. But it isn't cheap to make this. I've actually had to use every single bit of silver I have to get this. I think we have just enough in order to make us 6 of these. So we have 54 silver plates here, and in order to make this, you need a triple silver plate, which means you need to get a double silver plate and a silver plate. The double silver plate needs 2 silver plates, so you need 3 silver plates in general, and you need 9 of them basically to make one of these. So it's a lot of silver you need. So that's one key component. The other component, like I said, is the brick wrought iron hull, which is some wrought iron and some bricks. It's not too bad to make. You need some small steel fluid pipes. You know, that's some steel. And then we need this reinforced glass, which is a little bit more complicated. I haven't made that yet, but we'll go over that in a bit. So let's go ahead and get that silver plates made up first so we can get that done. And how are we going to do this? I don't want to mess this part up, actually. So we need, let's see here, double silver plates. So we need to do this 6 times, so we need 18 of these. Let's see if I do that calculation correctly. I don't want to mess this part up. So let's go ahead and do this first. Yep, there's some triple silver. Yep, that should be enough. Because I don't want to turn all into double because you can't get your silver back. Maybe you can, but it'll just make it harder. This should be 18 now in total. That is enough for 6. It is nighttime as well. Let's go to bed. Thankfully, we have the sleeping bag, so we don't always have to go right on up to that bed for him to sleep. And that should be the silver plates, triple silver plates. We already have the small steel fluid pipes. We need the wrought iron, brick wrought iron hull to be exact. And we need some bricks for that. And much like the silver, I've already prepared all the wrought iron we're going to need for that. So we should have enough for 6 of these. So I have been preparing a little bit ahead of time for this. So there's all that, and now all we need to make is this reinforced glass. Now this is a little more complicated. So basically what we need to do is we need to combine some glass with something called advanced alloy in an alloy smelter. So an advanced alloy is something we get from something called a mixed metal ingot, and basically, as far as I can tell, a mixed metal ingot is just a combination of any 3 kind of metal plate. So we can use iron, bronze, and tin to get a single mixed metal ingot. You can use other kind of metals to get more of them, so you know, bronze, aluminium, steel, you get 3 of them. So yeah, we've got a lot of options for this, but I think we'll keep it simple. We'll just go with iron, bronze, and tin for now. So how many do we need of this? So we're going to need 18 of these, and we get 4 per recipe. In fact, we get 4 per one of these, so I think we need like 5. That's not that bad. So if I've got some iron here, bronze here, and I think some tin will also help. There we go. That should make us the mixed metal ingot, and I believe what we need to do now is compress it to the advanced alloy. So that means you need to be moved out, actually. Let's take you out for a moment so we can get that going. Hopefully we can get that raw iron there. We'll continue working on that. There we go. So that goes the other stuff we need. Put this away for now. So yeah, I used every single bit of raw iron I had and every bit of silver I had just to get this solar boiler stuff prepared. And we still don't actually have them made yet. So, while that stuff is being worked on, actually, let's work on another project I want to try. So, one thing I'm going to have to do in order to move to the other part of the base is I have to move some of these chests, particularly this one. And there's a lot of stuff in here. I'd have to go back and forth over and over again. But there is a way we can pick up chests all in one, and we can make something called a dolly. Now, technically speaking, we would have a problem by making this. In fact, if we actually look at the quest book, and go to the Steam Age. Oh, we do have a quest here. This is the flint and steel I need to make that cage ladder. So let's see what we get here. We can get bow. We get bow, arrow, ball of moss. Ah, that's interesting, actually. And we can get either obsidian or a loot bag. We have over a stack of obsidian. I think I'll go with the loot bag. Alright, let's put that away. You know, the ball of moss is actually an interesting thing, because if this is a tool modifier for auto-repairing your tools. So, that's actually something I may want to consider, but the problem is, I don't think we can make that. Yep, you need to get into Bombcraft in order to make this again. So, this is the only one we're going to be able to have. So, you know what, I'm going to let you decide kind of what I should put this on. I want to make sure I make the right decision with this thing. Let me know what you think I should put this thing on. I think one of the things you usually could put it on is something like the crossbow. Or maybe it's the bolts, because that'll actually repair the bolts. Maybe something like that. Yeah, let me know what you think about that, because that's actually something quite interesting. So let me put that away as well. I'll hold on to that. But yeah, let me know about that. That actually could be quite interesting to look into. And we'll put the loot bag in here. Okay, so I wanted to show you the quest book because, yeah, we do have... Well, it's not actually shown. We have to view it. Yep, there's a quest here for the dolly, but we need to get a quest called Wire Warp complete, which is, I think, right here. So that's to get the rubber, which is what we get after we get to the nether. But we're obviously not in the nether yet. But if you remember, some of those quests we've already completed have given us a couple of rubber bars. So we can actually make this already, and I think it's going to help us quite a bit. So what do we need to do? We need to get some iron rods, which we don't have. Not that much. We can afford it. I didn't actually prepare for this part yet, because I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to make it, but it looks like we should. This is the only problem we're going to have, but all that we need to do is put a rubber bar with a hammer and a file. In fact, we only need a single one. This should work. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can get this stuff. Other way around? Yep, there we go. 4 rubber rounds. That should help. And what else do we need? Oh, we need a iron minecart wheels. How do you make that? Ah, more iron rods. So we need 6 more. And I think we needed 4 rings. And we can turn those right there into iron minecart wheels. And now we should be able to set this up. Here we go. So here is our dolly. And this is going to be quite useful because this is going to allow us to pick up chests like this. So if I right-click this, we get our dolly. It does give you things like slowness because obviously you're carrying a giant chest with a bunch of stuff in it. But if I right-click, I just put it back down. It keeps its contents. So that's going to be really helpful for me moving stuff over there. I think we can even pick up the work table. Yep. And it keeps all the recipes. So that's going to help because if I broke this, I'd lose all this. I'd have to reset these again. So this is going to allow me to just kind of pick this thing up, take it over there, and I don't have to worry about losing the recipe. So that's quite good to have. So yeah, that's kind of a nice little thing we have. And you can't actually put this in a backpack on its own, so I'm trying to put it in the backpack. But I think what you can do is kind of shift right-click, and you fold the dolly, and now you can put it in a backpack. So that's quite a good thing to have. Okay, so I think our advanced alloy is ready to go. So let's go ahead and grab that. And let's head on over here. So we can go ahead and make this. So what we need now is we need to get some glass dust and advanced alloy. Or we can just use normal glass. I think what we can do is... let's go ahead and buy some glass dust just to make things a bit easier for ourselves. Because I think you can do that, I saw. Let's see if I can find the quest. There we go. Glassy-eyed. Yep. 50 coins for 32 glass dust. Perfect. Let's see if we can grab some of those. What coins was it again? Coins of the Explorer. Submit. Claim. Perfect. So there we go. We got 32 glass dust. Now we should be able to combine this in an alloy smelter. And we should get our new type of glass. There we go. It does take 40 seconds, so that's going to take a little bit of time, it looks like. So, let's see what else we can get on with while that's happening. I do have, I think, a couple other quests to look at. We've done this one, so this was... oh, yes, this was the catwalks mod I was talking about. So we had to make the scaffold, the catwalk, the cage ladder. And the thing about this mod is it just uses a bunch of steel. You go through a lot of steel in order to make some of this stuff. Steel frame boxes, steel screws. The steel grate, that's a bunch more steel as well. So you use steel screws and steel rods. You do get 5, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I had to make some of this. But the main thing I wanted was the cage ladder for that one area. But yeah, this was quite a bit of steel in order to make it. So we'll take that reward. Looks like we get a bit more steel back. Yeah, that's what we've gotten there. Let's see if we've got anything else to turn in. Doesn't look like it. Looks like that's all the stuff we needed. So how are we coming along over here? Okay, so there's our first set of reinforced glass. So we need a little bit of this. So this is going to take some time. Let's see if we can go ahead and start putting things in place in the crafting grid here. We don't need the dolly. We already made that. So the goal is going to be to make 6 of these. And that's going to be pretty easy, I think, to do. Shouldn't have an issue with that. Alright, let's see what we can do here. There's our reinforced glass. Oh, let's fill these coins in as well. Put those over here. And let's go ahead actually and open those loot bags, because this is going to take, it looks like, a couple of minutes. Yeah, it's almost done. It's not going to take too long. Let's open the loot bags. In fact, let's put these other things away as well before we do that. But bow, we don't need that. I'm not sure where arrows go. I think they actually go on me. Yep, they go on me. Don't know why I have 2 bows, but this is kind of from the battle mode I can go into. I think I really just need this. We don't really need this kind of bow anymore. It's okay, though. We have it. You never know. If you run out of one, you can use the other, I guess. Alright, so let's actually take a look at these loot bags. Let's do the Steam Age ones then. See what we get. Ooh, sticky piston and some wheat. And some bowls and 2 emeralds. That's quite good to have. Bowls actually go over here. In our little kitchen area. I have been using that quite a bit. We've been able to make some nice foods, I think. Actually, let's put the wheat away as well. And nighttime is almost here again, so we'll have to go to sleep in a moment. Put the sticky piston away in here. And let's check on you, see if you're done yet. Almost done, it looks like. Just need to get 1 more of these, and we should be able to go ahead and make our solar boilers. So let's go to bed, and those should be done when we wake up. And almost there. Take the glass dust out. There we go, perfect. Put the glass dust away in the dust chest over here. And now, 6 advanced solar boilers. These are very expensive, but it's going to be quite a big upgrade to our steam production, so this is going to be quite worth it, I think. And that is a quest as well. Let's take a look at that quickly. So advanced solar boilers, we get some kiwi jelly sandwiches and some coins. We actually didn't get a loot bag from that one. That's okay. Do we have any room in the lunch box for food? Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and set these things up, because that's what I want to get on with now. We do need our wrench. Not sure if the wrench is going to be able to survive. Hopefully it will. If not, we'll just make another one. So what we're going to need to do, I've already pretty much set up the exact area these things are going to go. Now, I'm not sure if the water is going to keep up, but I think it will. I don't think we're going to have an issue with that. We're in a pretty good biome. I think 3 of these should be more than enough. You know, it should be able to handle more than 3 even. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them right here. So what I've got is the water's coming in from underneath. And this bronze pipe here is going to be our output for the steam. So what we should be able to do is, hopefully this starts filling up with water. It is. Perfect. We need to have you going to the back. Let me just make sure that's going. Yep, there we go. We can see that. And we'll just do the same with you. Take this kind of one at a time. And that should be another one. These are starting to heat up slowly. They are filling up with water as well. And we'll put 3 more right there. These things should be ready to face the right direction. So now what we need to do is we need to kind of get everything going into one area. So we need to connect this pipe here. And I probably need to jump down here first, and then come here. And, oh, it's already getting some steam. That's a good sign. And we're just going to connect this right on into the little input right here. I do try to get the little directional arrows as much as I can, because otherwise it starts sloshing around. This kind of helps with the direction. And we put one here, and that should start filling up our iron tank. Let's take a look. Perfect. There we go. So this iron tank, I don't think I showed this, but this holds 6.2 million millibuckets, so this is quite a large area. But as you can see, yeah, look at that steam going up already. So steam is already being produced quite fast, and yeah, this is going to be quite good. So yeah, let's take a quick look and see how things are looking up there. How's the water consumption? These things are still filling up, I think. They hold 32,000 millibuckets, so they hold quite a bit of water, so they're still filling up. I may have to increase the pipe size for the wooden pipes. These are cheap to make, though. I'm not worried about that. But these are starting to already make steam, so this is quite a good sign, isn't it? So these are going to be really good. I'm really happy about this. And we also have future room for further expansion over into this side, so I could actually make 2 more water tanks over here, add more solar boilers. We could even maybe add some on this side of the water tanks if they can support more. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see. We'll know once these fully fill up. If that number starts rising, these can easily support this. We'll find out. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to probably call it for today. So we've got the steam coming in now. Things are starting to proceed there. And we're starting to get somewhere. So before we actually end off, let's go ahead and open up those LV loot bags. Since I did say I wanted to get those, if I remembered, and I just remembered. Let's go ahead and get that going and see what we get. Those could be quite interesting. So let's see what we get. Quite excited to see. These could be quite good. We may get some stuff we can't actually do anything with yet, but, you know, we'll see. There we go. First one. We get, ooh, food's always a good thing. Pizza and cheeseburger. We got another pizza. What's this? Supreme pizza. That's a good one to have. And we got a tiny coal engine. Interesting. Steve's Quartz 2. Not sure. I'm not sure much about that mod. What's this one? Looks like I got more pizza, and we got a simple PCB, which is also from Steve's Quartz 2. And we got, ooh, what's this? Some basic solar engine. Another Steve's Quartz 2. But what's this one here? A resistor, basic electronic component. So that could be something we'll be making in the future, it looks like. And we got a wooden minecart hull, which is from Steve's Quartz 2. So, a lot of stuff from Steve's Quartz 2 in those LV loot bags, interestingly. Not quite sure what we'll do with those yet. Let's see if we have a spare chest or something around. Well, this is kind of my spare chest, I guess. Let's put them in there. And we'll put the resistors as well. Actually, let's put them in here. So yeah, we got some food and a couple of other things. Not too much good stuff, I guess, that we can use. But food's always a good thing. I can always use that food. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. So I hope you kind of enjoy how the base is looking. I hope you like it. Do let me know what you think. Do kind of let me know kind of what ideas you have. There's a lot of kind of empty space, especially I think in this hallway, because this stuff's going to be moved over there. So I'm not quite sure what to do in some of these areas. So, you know, if you've got any ideas, feel free to let me know. And yeah, I think that's what we're going to leave it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.